Hey there, my name's Bisa, or at least that used to be the case until now. Now, this is just a bit of an update video. This is going to be a bit of an unscripted rant because there's a lot going through my head right now at this end of the year, so I think right now is the best time for change. I wanted 2020 to be a big year for my channel, in terms of content production, if not numbers. And in some ways, it turned out to be that way. The Miku video got amazing attention after a shout out from Master, who himself was blowing up at the time, and whom I helped with for producing one of his videos. And that was pretty much it on this channel, in overall terms of new videos. I did make a new episode, or a new release, of Downmixed, which I am quite satisfied with, and on it you can even see that I had a redesign of my thumbnails planned for something that's probably a bit more eye-catching and professional looking than what I have right now. But that was pretty much it on here for this year. I did, as you might know if you've seen my previous update video, I did make, I did run Bisa's Parlor as a gaming channel, a mobile gaming channel for a while, and like 3 months, that went pretty well. And I had my first taste of success on YouTube on there, and there were circumstances that caused me to be unable to keep running that account, sadly, or that channel, sadly enough. For one, the shutdown of Symphogear XDU, the game I focused on, and without diversification or enough of a following, I couldn't move on to something else. And then there was also the fact that with the Symphogear community on that channel, the fact that I was doxxed from within the community had forced me to pretty much abandon it all. I have, at this point, completely moved on from the Symphogear community for the biggest part, like the largest part of the year. And a lot has changed since then for me. I did want to make more content on here, of course. I did have the final episode of Rewatch, which I did already tease in the last update video, in production for a few months now, a really long while. And I just can't do it. And the thing is that being unable to do it due to the baggage that I have with Symphogear, because it's about Symphogear Xeve. I would say that much right now. It is about Symphogear Xeve. And I'm just afraid, because the Symphogear community, I did take a dip back in there a few weeks ago, just looking in, through the window, looking what's going on without doing anything really. And it's still as vile of a place as it was when I was forced to leave it. Just because, again, so much of the front-facing community is filled with absolutely vile people, and there is just, it's such a groupthink centered community that, as someone like me who likes to be contrarian, or who likes to criticize the things that they love, that's not a viable place. It's just not something you can be part of, because you will just be shunned without any sort of, chance to really redeem yourself. You'll be seen as a piece of shit just because you're not following the group thing. And that's what ultimately was what got me doxxed as well. And so yeah, that's something that I just can't make the Xe video, because it's very negative. It goes super hard on the show, harder than I even feel about it. I will be that honest. I was sorry. I was also planning to do a big Symphogear rant, now that it's over, kind of rant over on Bisa's Parlor, talking about my experiences with the franchise of the decade of its run, and just talk about it, about my feelings for it, about just the experiences I've had with it. But with me being like just to clear things up a bit, right after the super negative review of Xeve, um, just bring a bit of nuance in it, because again, that there's a lot more nuance in my opinions on Xeve than I am able to make clear in that like 10-15 minute review time window. Especially with the amount of things that I do want, or the kinds of things that I do want to comment on in a very public manner about the show. So I just can't bring myself to finish it, because I know that if I post it and literally one person from the Symphogear community finds it, it'll be buried. And while I'm someone who's used to getting hate or, you know, being bullied, be that online or in real life, I was doxxed by these people. And the house that I used to live in as a child even got swatted, which is not something you can easily do here in Germany. Those people that live there now had the lives scared out of them. Luckily, no one was hurt, but still, the culprits are now the culprits were found and appropriately punished. But still, the fact that a community that encourages those kinds of people to stay around and to, just even get into positions of power sometimes, or that kind of shit. That's not a community that I want to expose my content to, especially not one that is so hyper focused on being super positive about every single thing. And if you aren't, or if at least you aren't following the group thing, if you're saying something is bad that they think or they say is perfect, or vice versa, then, you're kind of fucked. And that's why I'm super scared to release that review, to the point where I haven't been able to work on it despite my drive to make content for almost a month at this point. It's almost done. I only have to edit in clips. I just can't bring myself to do it. So here's the deal. Right now, as Bisa, and especially here on YouTube, I've put myself into a corner. I cannot bring myself to make other content before I release the XE video, because I promised it. And rewatch, I want to, the thing I want to do with a rewatch as a series is that this would be the end of season 1, me going over Symphogear, the one franchise that has impacted me the most over the years. And after that, I wanted to start rewatch season 2 by journeying all the way to my roots, to my magical girl roots that I've previously alluded to. And yeah, so rewatch season 2 is dependent on me releasing the Exif review, because I also want a bit string a bit of a narrative through there, right? I want to give a bit of story, so to say, to these to these reviews, of me rediscovering my love for anime, that kind of thing. And that's just not something that's going to work. On top of that, the kinds of content I want to make right now, while I still do want to do like Plant Watch, which is a series that I've been planning for a very long time and do have a few scripts written for, that's also something I don't really want to start before I'm done with Rewatch Season 1. And then there's some very different content that I just don't think would really fit the brand that I've put up for my channel. So even with the new like "What I Love" tagline, instead of like, because anime in games, maybe sometimes. Instead, I have "What I Love" now, since Bisa's Parlor. But even with that tagline, I feel like that kind of content would not fit here very well. So I'm rebranding, and not only that, but I am completely ditching the Bisa name. I've had that name for 12 years now, longer than I've even known Symphogear. It's what I identify with most, even more than my real name. It's what 99% of people on the internet know me, and the majority of my friends do. I'm now changing this. Since the middle of the year, shortly after I had to leave the Symphogear community, I started Girls Frontline RP. Girls Frontline is a mobile game that I have been very actively playing since its launch in 2018, and which I dearly love. So that's what I started doing. I started a Girls Frontline roleplay account on Twitter, and that did kind of get derailed into me starting to educate people about the game's history and its developer's history, and has led me to be able to engage with the community in ways that I would have never been able to with anything else. Again, I've educated people, and I've been starting to work on projects on large projects for everyone in this community that have been received incredibly well, and that I'm incredibly proud to work on and bring everyone. I've started a podcast that is doing quite well for like having just started, and I've even released the developer's first game, which was only ever released in like a very limited window in 2009, all the way back in only Chinese. I've translated that into English and released it to the public free, and it's been doing well. And it's been so much fun. And I have a lot of content plans for it. Aside from the podcast, of course, I also want to do other videos. I still want to keep doing what I'm doing here, of course, but I also want to supplement it with videos that wouldn't fit here. And as such, I'm rebranding my channels fully and myself. Bisa is no more. It's all beard now. The bearded sob mod. And that's what this channel is going to be from now on. It's going to be the bearded sob mod, and Bisa's Parlor is going to be just beard. I don't quite know how I will split up content between these. It's likely that I will do my main GFL focused content or Girls Frontline focused content here on this channel, Bearded Sob Mod. And the other content that you know this channel for, ironically enough, will be on what's right now Bisa's Parlor. And once you see it, it's gonna be just beard. So yeah, it's a big thing, but with the change of the year, it's time for me to turn over a new leaf and start over. All the content on here will be unlisted, as is already the case over on Bisa's Parlor. And the content you see on here, or all that content, will be in its own playlist, which the link to which you can find in the description to this video. This video will be unlisted at some point in the future. I don't know when, so make sure to grab the link if you want to keep it safe, to like add that playlist, to follow it, or whatever the hell it was again. Save the playlist for later, whatever. If you want to rewatch my old videos at some point, but they will be unlisted and stay unlisted while I prepare to become someone else, basically. There are so many memories connected with the Bisa name. I'll never stop identifying with it. And I'll probably never stop it from being, or it'll never change from being the one thing I identify with most. But for now, from now on, I'm the bearded sob mod.